Okay, this is potentially bonus material, only called bonus material because it's not a full episode. I realised as I was listening back through the podcast that I'm going to be putting out on Thursday, I didn't actually talk about all of the things I said I was going to talk about. And it links into my opening point around discussion of routine and why I struggle. And yet other things, I need to have a routine. So when I started doing the podcast, it started off with interviews. And then the interviews sort of petered out and people weren't responding. I was trying to chase them and say, let's have a chat about this. And yeah, they weren't forthcoming. It was almost like they didn't want to come onto the podcast for a variety of reasons. So it was disappointing. So that sort of went off on its own thing. And I thought, okay, maybe this is the universe doesn't want me to do that. So I went down the route of the rabbit holes because the Cauldron of Curiosity is about those rabbit holes, isn't it? Because it's what am I thinking about today? What makes me curious? What's in the pot? And that has then led to a whole variety of things. Then I thought, let's be professional and have some structure. So we'll start off talking about a topic, maybe discuss the book that I've been reading, add a bit of bibliomancy, give it that lovely structure that people seem to like, and follow up some foragers' feedback. And do the foragers' feedback regularly on a Thursday. Regardless, maybe do some videos showing people what I see. Now, I'm not going to stop doing that, but I realised that I reached the end of a cycle of that particular routine. And I really struggle to maintain that momentum of too much routine. Even though there are certain things that if I don't have that routine, I do like to have my books in a certain order so I can find them. So when it comes to finding things, I like to have a routine. But when it comes to day-to-day activity, I'm not so keen. Even not being interested in having my meal at the same time, it doesn't tend to resonate with me. I do like to have my coffee, but do I have that at the same time every day? Generally not. But it does follow the order of which I do it. It follows a routine. So I am going to return back to that initial concept of when you put things into a cauldron, they're not in any order. There's no routine to the things that go in. The original cauldrons, you added things and you had things in there that had been going for a long time. So yes, in my cauldron, I will always talk about what I'm seeing and what is out there and maybe what's happening with the wildlife. Like there's a cat that has been sat in the long grass for some time now, just watching. And there's a bumblebee sat next to me, Bumblebee the dog, watching the cat. Silently for a change, he's not actually barking. And the cat's moving off. Now, what the cat is actually heading towards, which is quite interesting, is there's a disused railway track. This morning, I actually did start recording a podcast episode. Then somebody's bloody car alarm went off. And I thought, is this the universe telling me to get on with going and picking up that wood? So off we went. We went and picked up the kindling. It's all free. It's all been dried over the last couple of months. So, yeah, perfect for what I would like to use it for. And going back to the reason I'm doing this is, so this is the cauldron. The cauldron is full of it's the randomness of cauldron activity is the only thing that's guaranteed is it goes in the pot and it comes out the pot. And it might be an MP3 or it might be an MP4. Or is it an M4A? I'm not great on that, remembering which one's which, because sometimes different apps record it as a different thing. But the cauldron is a gathering of multitude of different things, and sometimes it might be me thinking, well, why do people misrepresent? Or what might you find if you went to a lovely place like Matlock, which we went to Matlock yesterday, and I got myself a gorgeous apprentice stall, which means I can look out of my swan hatch, sit there, watch the ducks and the swans. And I need to get an acrylic window made up for that so I can look out of it in the winter. Find a way of sorting that out. It's on my list of jobs. I've got so many jobs that I should be doing. And what am I doing? I'm sat here talking about what I want to do with my podcast. I know. Anybody else experiencing that? But I look forward to hearing from you. If you would like to follow me on the podcast, or you might want to follow me on TikTok. And it is the Cauldron of Curiosities on TikTok. And I do upload videos on there. And again, am I consistent? I try. I really do try to be consistent. I don't know how I stayed alive, to be fair, because sometimes I just like being inconsistent. There's some part of just going with the flow, that fluidity of it. Hence, me thinking things are changing. Things are changing, aren't they, really, if you think about it? The change of the seasons. So naturally, as human beings, we flow, we follow the seasons, we feel the need to change, so we should go with that flow rather than resisting it. And maybe increasing our stress levels because we're trying to resist change. Let's go with it. So, watch out if you've got any comments or you think, actually, Sarah, you should maybe have stuck with this, then that's fine. I look forward to hearing from you. But the whole podcast project is about hopefully sharing some ideas, stimulating thought, stimulating curiosity. Because that is what the Cauldron of Curiosities is about. Is that gathering of things that people might be curious about.